So this Airbnb behind me produces north of $95,000 a year with the potential of actually up to $130,000. Cool thing is we were able to lock this bad boy down without buying anything. I mean, did not buy the property. All we did was arbitrage it, rented it, furnished it, listed on Airbnb. It's actually not mine. This is one of the folks in our airporter community, a student of ours, if you will. And I'm staying here for a bit, so thanks, Nick. But overall, he gets to cash flow anywhere from $3 to $5K per month in pure profit, and he didn't have to buy much. So what I'm going to do is I want to show you the property. I'm going to show you why it's guaranteed to be a six-figure listing, how we went about selecting it, and ultimately what the things are that he had done to make sure that this thing is really going to cash flow as much as possible. So if you're interested in, starting with Airbnb yourself, whether it's arbitrage, purchasing, co-hosting, whatever it might be, they have a really good idea on what defines a six-figure listing, and then some of the things you do not want to miss out on if you're going to do something like this. So let's go take a look. Okay, so we're in lovely Scottsdale, Arizona, and this is Nick's 4-bedroom, 3-bath, single family house that he arbitraged. And basically what I want to do is I want to walk through some of the property, kind of give you a quick tour on what this thing looks like. And then I'm going to explain some of the ways that this thing really solidified its place as a six-figure listing to make sure it makes that kind of money. So before anything, what we do is we research a market and we understand what properties are making money and why, okay? So before we even reach out to a property owner that has a place like this, we understand that like, hey, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, like these types of properties with this type of criteria, they make north of $100,000, right? And the amenities that really push the listings into that revenue range are also things like a pool, a putting green, a fire pit, etc. So this property checked off all of those boxes, and I'm literally going to show them to you. Now, first things first, maximizing headcount is important. So what Nick did is we've got a bunk bed in here that can fit a total of 2 guests in this one little bedroom. As a matter of fact, in the original layout of this house, this room was probably not a bedroom. This was likely a little back office room, not necessarily something that you would put beds in. And what Nick did is he wanted to make sure he's going to get the highest head count in this place to make the most amount of money. So he added 2 bunk beds in this room. So we've got a full bath over here with a shower. We'll go through the backyard. I'll give you a tour of the backyard in a second. We've got the nice large living room space here. Now this is not a pull-out couch or the bed, but he did include an air mattress here, so we could sleep an additional 2 people. Bedroom 1 here with a little workstation. Bedroom 2 here, so another 2 heads. So far we're at 2 for the bunk bed, 2 for the air mattress, 2 for bedroom 1, 2 for bedroom 2. So we're already at 8 heads. Then this is bedroom 3. We've got the nice walk-in closet with a vanity area, which could also serve as a workspace. Large king bed, as well as another bathroom with all my used towels. So we're at about 10 heads already. Got another bathroom with another bunch of used towels. So like you basically want to give them as many possible goodies really to just make sure that they feel super happy about the stay. He fully loaded the crap out of this thing with coffee, right? K-cup machine with a full pot, loaded with K-cups, ground coffee if you'd rather do that and serve a bunch of people. In this drawer here, ton of tea options, the coffee filters, we've got a wine cooler here, we've got a hot tea kettle, a lot of really, really good things just to make the guests super, super happy. Fully loaded kitchen with an air fryer. I'm cooking my sweet potato fries, full stove, tons and tons of kitchen utensils, and he advertises this in the listing. Fully loaded pots and pans, rice cooker, blender, toaster, Tupperware to store all the stuff that you're cooking, full knife block that I dirtied up, of course. He has electric rolling shades in almost every single room, tons of smart TVs, 1 in each bedroom, 1 outside, 1 here. But you see where I'm going with this. There are lots of little touches here that make this place super convenient to stay at. For example, I've been here for a week now, and I'm able to just live here as if I live here, right? As if like this is my house. I'm able to cook without any issue. I can cook a variety of things because I've got the rice cooker, I've got, tons of different pots and pans, etc., and this and that. So it's just like, it makes the experience here so homey and easy to just like stay here for an indefinite period of time and not feel like I need to run out to the store and grab a bunch of stuff. It's just like, it's perfectly set up that way. So like, Nick, you're definitely getting a 5-star, bro. But those things create really good reviews, which in turn boost you on the SEO on the platform, making your property even more successful. So I misspoke, it's actually a 3-bedroom, but for a 3-bedroom, this house sleeps at least 10 people, which would really maximize the revenue potential of this particular property. But what really makes this property stand out is the backyard. So let's check this out. So nice large pool with hot tub. Got the turf and swing area back here, huge fire pit area, big outdoor dining space, gazebo area with outdoor TV, outdoor bar, outdoor grill, little putting green and turf back here. This is just awesome. Now, what's important about all those amenities that I just showed you, though, is that they were calculated, right? These were not just things that we just threw into the listing and crossed our fingers and hoped that they would make money. These are specifically chosen because when you analyze the market, we see a trend. We see that all the properties that are making $100,000, $120,000, $150,000 a year have all these amenities. So in order for us to compete, we just understand what's already working. You don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? Now, I'm not saying there's not room for creativity, but if you're an investor or you're an arbitrager or you're somebody that's trying to build a short-term rental business, what makes the most sense is making decisions based on data. And those are things that we saw in other listings here that we knew that would allow us to be successful. So there's really like three main components of like successful Airbnb businesses and building a portfolio that can truly like give you that financial freedom that you're looking for if you want to be successful with this, right? So the first is what I just mentioned, which is analyzing what's working in the market and making sure that your property has those same attributes. Now, the other side to it is making sure that you market your listing effectively, right? Now, what does that mean? You've got to understand that like people don't book Airbnbs based on how expensive the renovation style is or how expensive the couches are or whatever. They book it based on the photos and based on how the property looks in the images on the listing. So that means that your property needs to be very aesthetically pleasing, both from an interior design perspective, from a renovation perspective, and then also really great scenic outdoor amenities like that. See, the amenities themselves are great, but the other thing is they just look really nice in photos, right? So these are things that like you want to keep in the back of your mind is like, how can I stage all of this stuff in photos to make it really pop and make this property look super, super glamorous? Now, Nick did a bang up job with the interior design, and the fact that the backyard and those amenities look so good, that this all contributes to the property just looking fantastic on the actual Airbnb marketing, on the Airbnb listing. But now the third component is we want to make sure that when the listing is live, that it continuously gets really good reviews, that it continuously gets really good feedback and really good, returning customers and things like that. Now, part of that is just making sure you've got the back end dialed in operations. You've got a good cleaning team. You've got a good virtual assistant team that just handles all the guest messages. But the other side to it is making sure the guest has everything that makes them satisfied, that enhances the quality of the stay. So let me show you what I mean by that. So the last thing to talk about here is the acquisition, right? So how do you acquire properties like this if you're going the route of like arbitrage and you're not looking to purchase, a property? Because I would imagine a property like this costs at least $500,000, and then on top of it, to put in the kind of renovations needed to get it in this condition, we're talking easily another $100,000. So like right out of the gate, very capital intensive. You're going to try to purchase a short-term rental of this caliber. But for arbitrage, you really don't have to do that, right? So what Nick did was first he researched the Scottsdale market. He understood what types of properties were doing really, really well. Then he searched the rental market, the properties that are available for rent, and he found this one. There was actually a lot of furniture already in this house that made his upfront costs way, way lower. So he reached out to the landlord. He says, hey, I run a short-term rental company. I'd basically like to rent this just like a regular tenant from you, list it on Airbnb. I'll collect the difference. And ultimately for you as a landlord, this makes your life 10 times easier, man. Like you get passive income every single month. You basically get property management for free. The place gets cleaned routinely. You get on-time rent every single month, no other fees on top of it. So for a landlord, it's like a dream come true. It's like one tenant that he's gonna have forever, no evictions, no late rent, etc. So I believe Nick also offered the landlord to sign a 2 to 3 year lease, and that combined with the way that he presented it to the landlord allowed him to get 1 to 2 months rent for free. I think 2. So what does that do for Nick? That also improves his profit margin because the first year he has 2 months to literally just collect revenue and pay down any sort of furniture expenses that he had on the property. So he gives the landlord his security deposit. Now Nick's out $3,000 or so for the rent. But then the furniture, he just used his 0% interest business credit card. He created an LLC, went to the bank, got 0% interest, $20,000, $30,000 for a year, use that to buy the furniture. Now Nick doesn't really have to pay anything out of pocket outside of that security deposit, and he's able to pay down that furniture pretty quickly because he got those 2 months rent free. Now Nick is cash flowing $4,000 or $5,000 a month from this property, and he didn't really spend a lot, and he doesn't really have to manage a lot either because the Airbnb platform is pretty passive. So Nick, you crushed it, man. So he went live with this thing maybe 2 months ago. He's already scouting his next deal. And here's the thing, is he's just going to rinse and repeat this process until he gets to $10, $20, $30,000 a month. And he just lives completely autonomously from his Airbnb portfolio. We love the arbitrage model. So guys, I hope you got value out of this video, this walkthrough, this explanation on how this works. If you're interested in starting your own Airbnb portfolio, we've got a free A to Z step-by-step course and community for you to join at no cost, teaching you how to land your first Airbnb in the next 60 to 90 days. All you have to do is click the link in the description and it'll take you to school.com/Airbnb. And if you're interested in just kind of skipping the 2 years of trial and error and making some mistakes, and you want to accelerate that to like 3 to 6 months to get your first 5 to 10K per month on Airbnb, that's when I would recommend booking a call with me and my team to consider joining the one-on-one mentorship that we offer to walk you through and handhold you through that process like we did with Nick. That link will be in the description as well. So guys, take care, enjoy, and have a great week.